Time to musk up. Wow.
All right, so today I have something special, and this is the follow-up release to La Douleur Exquise, Eugene's new fragrance, which I will show you in a second, but this is a rose patch. Love it. Multifaceted spices, resins, and a beautiful leathery castoreum note. So before I begin speaking about this fragrance, I have to get this out of the way, and that is that this was a gift from Eugene. He is a friend, and so just so everyone that's watching this knows that. But regardless, I will give you my true feelings about it. Now, let me show you the presentation. Typically, I don't usually show presentations, but in this case, I will. It's a new startup brand, and usually startup brands don't go all out, but in this case, I do think he does. And as you can see, it came in like this. Nice little wrapping paper. Sticker there to hold it in. Comes right out, and then Belle. If you're familiar with a Frederick Mall box, then you'll be familiar with this. And this is raised as well. Some ingredients there. Slides up. Right. Almost rubberized feeling. And sits nice, cushioned in this foam layer perfectly. Now onto the bottle. Now one thing I'm gonna say is I hate microfiber towels. They feel horrible in the hands. They stick to your fingers. It's a cringy feeling. I don't know. I just use regular like glass cleaner towels. This came with a iPad. I think this works best. Like stuff you clean like glasses, sunglasses or whatever with. Let's get it all shiny. And here she is. I think I've worn maybe a mil or two. And one thing I will say, this stuff is strong. Right, 100 ml at the top there. Strong magnetic cap there. I think a lot of people are aware of that at this point. I still don't suggest to do this, but I do it. Right, and then the sticker on the bottle. And this sticker is familiar, the same ones that Les Indomptables uses on their fragrances. Let's just get right into it. I have some here. Let me spray a little bit. I'm spraying very, very little on purpose because I'm telling you, it's strong. It's very, very strong. Just to give me a reminder. And so typically, I don't know, sometimes I speak about notes, but I don't think it's very important in this case because there's only two main players, I think, here, and then there's some lurking in the back, but it's blended in a way that I have trouble picking up specific notes here, to be honest. But of course, the Orris is just in your face right away. And the chocolate. There is a cacao or coca extract from Trinidad, if I'm not mistaken. One thing I do want to say is there is a little bit of sweetness there, but a natural sweetness. The Orris at the top is very rooty, powdery, dry, makeup bag-like, almost mushroomy. The Orris here as well. Kind of fungal, kind of. I know that sounds weird, but. And another thing I do want to mention, the Orris here does come off a little violet. So I do see blues and purples here. Sometimes Orris can come off a little bit violet-like, and I do get this kind of underlying vanillic sweetness, which kind of gives me this impression of candied violets, but very minimal. Very, very minimal. It's mostly this powdery, huge Orris butter note here. And then, like I said, in the background, the cacao. I do get some ginger. There's definitely some fresh spiciness here. Some snappiness from the ginger, if you've ever eaten ginger when you have sushi. I kind of get that impression here. One thing I do want to say is what this reminds me of exactly in my head, as at least what I got was, picture a woman's pocketbook and she has Godiva dark chocolate bar inside of it with 10 lipsticks in there. I don't know why she only carries lipstick, and there's 10 of them in there. She leaves the pocketbook in the car, and the dark chocolate melts all over the lipstick. But funny enough, in the dry down, I do get some leathery touches here as well, almost like the leather of the pocketbook. So you get the whole, not just the contents inside the pocketbook, but the pocketbook itself. And if I'm not mistaken, there's also, I do get a little bit of cardamom, but like I said, it's blended really, really well to the point that I have trouble sometimes picking out certain notes besides the coca and the coca cacao, I don't know, whichever way you want to say it, and the orris butter, of course. But it's quite milky, but it's a dry, powdery milkiness, and there's definitely some woodiness here as well. And I could definitely see there being some sandalwood in here. This is almost kind of like Play-Doh, like pizza Play-Doh almost, that you're ready to roll out. Now, one fragrance that I do want to mention is kind of similar, not in smell, but in feel. Well, I guess similar in as far as just the orris element. And there's one other fragrance that I've really has this mushroomy orris butter in it that you just get blasted with, and it's a Chanel, which I'm not surprised because Eugene likes his Chanels and he likes that smell of a woman's pocketbook, and that is 31 Rue Cambon. I know people are saying Dior Homme Intense. I don't get that personally, but Dior Homme Intense. I think someone mentioned, I think Neil mentioned Givenchy Gentleman EDP. I see where he's coming from, but that is way more resinous from the Tolu balsams. So I get where he's coming from, but I don't see it. I think this is the feeling that I get. I just get a big cloud of orris from this stuff, a big mushroomy cloud of orris at that. And I get that in here. And if you kind of look here too, at the color, really similar. And I've always said that this thing, I think all the color, this is one of the darkest Les Exclusives on the market. And if you look, it is really dark. It's actually one of the darkest. I think it's up there with Coromandel and Lilion. And this is one of the darkest. And as you can see, it's almost the same, right? I don't know, I just thought that was interesting. It doesn't really matter, but that's where I get the resemblance, just a big ball. The brush strokes are large here, blended to perfection, and I also have trouble pinpointing notes in here as well, other than the patchouli and the orris. As far as longevity is concerned, if you care about that, this stuff lasts. I mean, I think I've had it. I wore it out. I was out for maybe 6 hours, and then I went to sleep and it was still on my skin. So we're talking about 15, 16, 17 hours, no problem. And I could smell it throughout the day, no issue. Or should I say night, no problem as well. Although I could smell it all night, it wasn't assaulting my nostril. It was still light touches that I was getting of the fragrance when I would smell it. So although it's strong, it doesn't abuse you, right? Not like a Montal or a Mancera or something like that. But I think this is quite unique. Although their orris and like chocolate has been kind of done before, so to say, like Dior Homme Intense maybe, but this is different because the coca extract from Trinidad, which is natural, which also is the orris. I think there's a orris pallida and a Moroccan iris in here as well. All natural, no colorants here, and that's why you get this gorgeous yellow tint here. But yeah, and it's definitely musky as well. Definitely some muskiness. So if you like the thought of a Godiva dark chocolate melted inside a woman's pocketbook, including the leather as well, that smell, if you like the thought of that, then you might like Belle. All right, take care. Bye.